When people first find out that I'm a twin, they typically ask me a lot of ridiculous questions. Questions like, whoa, can you guys read each other's minds? No.
Do you guys have like the same birthday?
I'm gonna give you one guess. Have you guys ever like, I don't know, maybe you were lonely late at night and you kind of wanted to like try a little, no, okay, stop, no. That only happens on Cinemax, all right? Guys, I am really sorry to dispel any of the crazy twin myths that you may have heard, but we can't feel each other's pain, okay? But there is one thing about twins that is true. We are much more than just sisters. When my twin sister Meredith and I were born, my grandparents gave us these little purple Velcro monkeys. And these stuffed animals have made an appearance all throughout our childhood, in our nursery, in our big girl rooms, in our college dorms, and now in our adult homes. They stayed intertwined with their little Velcro clinging to each other for as long as they possibly could, but eventually, and perhaps inevitably, they became undone as separate units, my monkey and her monkey. And much like our monkeys, my twin sister and I have become the women that we are today, not only because of the bond we shared growing up, which was largely forced upon us, but also because of the ability we had later in life to separate and differentiate our own personalities. It was only after we discovered who we were both together and apart that we could finally appreciate one another and become friends. Dr. Nancy Siegel is an expert on twins, and she works at Cal State Fullerton. She noted to National Geographic that in our Western culture, we value individual strengths and talents. But when we discover twins, it runs counter to the way we think things should work. Now, so much of my early childhood self was defined by being a twin. My friends, my clothes, my activities, my interests. She was seen as an extension of me, and I of her, which naturally caused quite a bit of resentment. The older we got, the more we rebelled against this notion of just being the twins and not our own separate person. Now, on one hand, I look at this monkey and I see part of a whole, something that's missing its other half, and I think that's how a lot of people see twins, as a unit that's not whole unless they are together. But the fact of the matter is Meredith and I were opposites from the very start. She was born with a full head of hair, and I was bald as a cue ball until I was 2 years old. She was complacent, I was fussy, I was obnoxious, and she shied from the spotlight, but nevertheless, we were still twins, so people treated us like the same person. We were invited to the same parties, we attended the same classes, we participated in the same activities, we shared the same clothes. People referred to us just as the twins and made generalizations about us based on one or the other. I even managed to get both of us kicked out of Girl Scouts, even though she hadn't done anything wrong. Now, on the other hand, I look at this monkey and I see a lone monkey that's just trying to make a name for himself on his own in the jungle. And isn't that what we're all after anyway? To be acknowledged for our own accomplishments and achievements? Well, that can be really hard to do when you're a twin. The older we got, the more annoying these twin generalizations got. And by the time we were seniors in high school, my twin sister wrote her college entrance essays about getting away from me. Now, as much as that stung, it was also a relief because it gave us the freedom to break away from that twin stigma and to forge our own way. And that was the best thing that could have ever happened to any of us. We went to different colleges in different states. I studied theater and English and ended up getting a master's degree in acting, while Meredith focused on business and ended up earning a law degree. We made friends who knew us for who we were, not as a twin. People finally accepted us for the people that we really were, as opposed to having this automatically assumed attachment. I have finally achieved the ultimate understanding of who I am as a person only because I was able to break free of the generalization that because I am a twin, I am nothing without my other half. Twins are so fortunate that they are born with a built-in support system, a sister, a friend, maybe even a soulmate. But when others have a hard time seeing past that multiplicity it can cause for a lot of frustration between siblings that are trying to differentiate themselves. After all that time that my sister and I spent trying to prove that we were so different, it actually turns out we have a lot in common. We both love country music, sorry. We're both crazy about cats, and we can quote whole movies word for word. She really is my best friend. She is my missing monkey. But we needed to spend a lot of time apart to come together as the unit that we truly are. Some siblings are naturally close. Some, like my sister and I, were forced to be. But let me echo the wise words of journalist Victoria Billings when she said, "Constant togetherness is fine, but only for Siamese twins." Thank you, guys.